Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center, sponsored by Fieldstone Communities, Bainbridge Island. Fieldstone offers innovative and compassionate care. Now they're accepting residents. They also offer day stay and respite programs. If you want to get in touch with them, call 360-689-4314 to schedule a tour of the Fieldstone's beautifully appointed apartments on Rolling Bay today. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Senior Center sits on the ancestral homeland of the Coast Salish people, specifically the Suquamish tribe, the people of the clear salt water. We honor them and are grateful for their hospitality. It is also my honor today to introduce to you Deborah Horn. She is the director of Meals on Wheels Kitsap County. And you've been doing it for quite a while, haven't you, Deborah?
Yes, Karen, thank you very much for having me here today. I am grateful to Reed Price, who we work with there at the Senior Center, for telling us about this program so that we can share a little bit about our service and our current need for volunteers. And I have been with Meals on Wheels Kitsap since 2010. And it's been a really wonderful, wonderful ride. I enjoy working with seniors, and I enjoy working in nonprofit organizations, and Kitsap County is a fabulous place to work in a nonprofit setting. Great community support.
I think there's a lot of overlap with a lot of nonprofits working together also. I know that Misty from HRB, or Housing Resource Board, and she's with us today too. And I know that, there's probably at times we have IVC, HRB referring people to Meals on Wheels. Helpline
House as well is one of our partners.
Oh, yes.
And we actually partner with the Kitsap Regional Libraries countywide. And there are other home care organizations on the island, specifically that we work with for referrals from patients being released and those kinds of things. So yeah, couldn't do it without the community.
Right, absolutely. So, oh, Don, you had a question you asked earlier. Could you ask that question?
Sure. I'm just curious to know, Deborah, how many meals people have under your cover on a daily basis.
So it varies based on the time that we've been serving. So we actually operate a couple of different programs. Our community dining program, which pre-COVID served hot meals at 9 community locations throughout Kitsap County, someplace where seniors could come together around noontime, share a hot meal, and really just get to converse and spend time with other seniors. And then we also provide home delivered meals to homebound seniors. And pre-COVID, we did frozen meals once a week countywide, and then hot meals on a daily basis in the Bremerton area. And so prior to COVID, our operation looked really different. Fast forward 3 years ago, COVID happened. Luckily for us, we were already established in providing services in a health care and safety environment. And so it didn't take a whole lot to get up and running with frozen meal service to all homebound clients. And all of our 9 community dining sites had to shut down because of COVID. And so we weren't able to serve hot meals, but we pivoted and instead started providing frozen meals to go at 5 of those 9 sites. Bainbridge Senior Center, which remained one of those since day one. And so we are very grateful, very grateful. So your question about the numbers, interestingly, once COVID hit, the number of meals that we served increased over 40%. And I think that was because a lot more people were staying home and because of the services that we had changed to. We currently have gone back to the hot and frozen home delivered meals and serve about 200 clients every week with hot and frozen meals. And then in our community dining program, we still are doing frozen meal pickup. We do it once a week, and at the Bainbridge Senior Center, it's every Thursday from 11:45 to 12:15. And I think right now there are probably anywhere from 8 to 12 seniors that pick up meals there on Thursday. Lots of our seniors are now able to, those that drive anyway, are able to get out and about, and they are just biting at the bit to get back to hot meal service. Not only are the meals better and different, but they really want to just get back together and talk and share stories and, do things. That's why our partnership with the various senior centers is so important, because they can tag other activities either before and or after they get a healthy and nutritious lunch. So it's a win-win, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, it's nourishing the soul along with nourishing the body, getting together. It's very important. Yeah.
So I assume you have a production kitchen someplace?
We do. And so just to finish that, last year we served over 850 unduplicated seniors countywide, and almost 70,000 meals were distributed to them.
Wow.
So our we work with a commercial kitchen. It is Kitsap Community Resources. They have been our caterer for 48 years.
Wow.
We are in our 49th year of service as a private nonprofit organization, and are still looking forward to celebrating our 50th anniversary in 2023. But again, a lot of that has to do with the community support in so many ways. And so KCR works with our registered dietitian. She is the one that actually designs all the meal plans and menus. They use her recipes to prepare those meals. KCR prepares and packages them, and our volunteers pick those up and deliver them to our seniors and in bulk to the community dining sites, which we are actually, which is one of the reasons that we wanted to talk a little bit about our current needs and program. We are planning to reopen our community dining sites, and we are starting September 1st with Bainbridge and our Pinewood Manor Senior Apartment Complex. Those are 2 5-day-a-week sites. And then we also will open on September 7th with our Burley community site in the South End. And so we'll have a site, hot meal site, in all parts of the county in September. And then in October, we plan to reopen 4 additional sites. That would be the Kingston Community Center, the Bainbridge Island Senior Center, the Conifer Ridge Senior Apartment Complex in Port Orchard, and the Silverdale United Methodist Church. And, one of the things, there were so many kind of wonderful gifts that occurred during COVID. Things that, we had to think outside of the box. Certainly having and offering frozen meal pickup has been a real plus for so many people. Initially because they had to stay at home and wanted to not be out and about. So the opportunity to pick up 5 frozen meals once a week was very appealing. And these are full, complete, nutritious meals. A protein that could be fish, chicken, beef, pork, turkey, and we have a couple of vegetarian dishes. It includes a couple of vegetable dishes. It includes whole grain, bread products, fresh fruit, and a pint of 1% milk. There sometimes are little goodies, if you will, but again, we need to remember that we're a nutrition program, so the goodies sometimes are naturally sweetened fresh fruit.
Right.
But they get a cookie occasionally.
Thank you for controlling us.
Oh my gosh. That deals with your emotional health, right? So,
Oh, gosh.
but
So, now how do you qualify for delivery? I realize that we can pre-order and come get the food at it when it's delivered, but how do you qualify for delivery to your home?
So all of our services are provided to people who are 60 years of age and older. And so you were right, Karen, in terms of how you can sign up for pickup meals or hot meals at the congregate sites. For home delivered services, you also have to be medically homebound, which means that for a medical or physical reason, you are unable to prepare a nutritious meal for yourself, and you don't drive. Most of our clients live alone, and that's the rationale for them to receive those meals. We do everything by phone. You can call if you're interested and you think you qualify for meals. We do the assessment by phone. We partner with our major funding source, which happens to be Kitsap County Aging and Long-Term Care, in providing additional screening with their case managers that occur after we sign you up for service. You also, as a client of Meals on Wheels, either home delivered or on the community dining side, have free access to our registered dietitian, because we only provide 1 meal per day. But many times if you're diabetic or you have high blood pressure, you probably need to be on a better, different diet. And she definitely will work with you. And again, that's a very valuable service that clients have free access to. So it's, very beneficial in that regard. Did I answer the question about who qualifies for home delivered meals?
Yeah, you pretty much people that are medically at home.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and usually you said it was usually one person.
For the most part, I mean,
Right.
there are times that we have served both husband and wife, or a son and a father, more people living in the homes. But for the most part, it's because they can't prepare their own meals.
Right.
We also work with a lot of caregivers who could be spouses, who could be children or other family members, and the mere work involved to provide home care to a loved one can be very difficult. And so there is a program through the county called Family Caregiver Support, and unpaid family caregivers can get a whole lot of other services, including a referral for home delivered meals for both the
Okay.
caregiver and the client.
I think there's getting to be more and more support for caregivers, loved ones as caregivers. That's wonderful.
It
Yeah.
is, especially since we're all living longer,
Yeah.
and I think that's great. And, I mean, our underlying purpose is that you know, seniors want to age in place, you know, for as long as they can. And Meals on Wheels is one of those organizations that can help you to do that by providing that nutritious meals and so forth. We also, other services that we provide include nutrition education and dietary counseling. We also, if you have are unable to eat whole food, maybe you're receiving cancer treatment and can't swallow, we can provide Liquid Ensure Plus for clients who require that. That does require also a medical prescription from your physician, but that also is a service we provide. Another one that we provide, which is the only seasonal program that we offer, and we're smack in the middle of it, is the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program. And this is where and we're in our 17th year of providing these free vouchers to income qualified seniors who can get this year $80 worth of free vouchers that they can use to shop at local farmers markets. And it's such a win-win. You know, seniors have access to fresh produce, and they're putting the money back into local farms. So I think that's a real win-win.
That absolutely is. Now, is there a cost? What's the cost for, like, if I want to come down and order a meal, right? Order a meal, how much does it cost?
So we don't charge for our services. We are, as a nonprofit organization, we do gratefully accept donations. And so the suggested donation for a meal is $3 per meal, or whatever you choose to contribute. It costs us over $8 per meal to provide that service. But again, we're very grateful to the community in a number of ways. We are beneficiaries of Islanders' contributions through the One Call for All. We also receive their generous donations through the Kitsap Great Give. We do a number of different fundraisers. During COVID, we couldn't do any in person, so we did mostly virtual types of events. And we also, again, accept contributions from businesses, corporations, different funding sources. We are member agencies of the United Way. We get funding from workplace campaigns like the Combined Fund Drive, Combined Federal Campaign, and so forth.
Oh, wonderful. Don, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Deborah, I'm imagining when your delivery person goes to the door of someone who lives alone, that just that brief contact is really important. And I'm wondering if there's time for some conversation and what comes out of that process.
You bet. And I appreciate that question, Don. You know, our tagline is that we're more than a meal. I mean, it obviously, the heart of our program is that nutritious meal, but it's all the extra things that come along with that. It is indeed the interaction that a homebound senior might get with one of our drivers. Pre-COVID, they used to spend way more time. During COVID, we had to actually change the delivery protocol. But nonetheless, we are those eyes and ears and hands. We are a safety check for those clients. And so they knock on the door. The client has to acknowledge, either by coming to the door to pick up their meals, or waving through the window. We also have a few that can't get to the door quick enough. And so the driver will call them when he or she is driving up to their door, and they will answer and just say, I'm here, I'm okay, you can leave the meal. So we do the best that we can to ensure that. One of the other gifts that came out of COVID, besides the frozen meal pickup service, is that we actually lost quite a bit of our volunteers. The bulk of our volunteers, and at the height, pre-COVID, we had 130 volunteers system-wide. The majority of them who were servers at our 9 different community dining sites. And many of them are seniors, and they were that population that needed to stay at home. And so they either self-elected to step back for a while, or their adult kids said, nicely, Mom, Dad, you need to stay at home. So, you know, we kind of took some of that, and also the wanting to reduce social isolation that so many of our clients felt. And we started a telephone outreach program called Kitsap Phone Friends, and trained existing volunteers who really were already friends with many of these seniors, and offered them the opportunity to get weekly or a couple times a week phone calls. So that program, now we're in our second 2.5 years into the program. Several of them are still connected through that, even though things have opened up again. And we really hope that as the community remains safer, to kind of get back out there and spend time. Volunteers used to deliver meals and go into client homes. Till today, they're still leaving the meals bagged on the porch and not going in homes. And, you know, many of them look forward to that day, clients especially, that their friends can come back into their homes, put the food away, but really to just sit down and spend some time with them. So
that outreach, that phone outreach that you just, you know, the organization decided to do is so important to stay
it
in
is
touch.
indeed.
Yeah, we're not forgotten. That means so much. Yeah.
So as I suspected, you're more than Meals on Wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely more than a meal, because
Yeah.
we do things like birthday bags. So several years ago, you know, we had an opportunity to partner with a business group that wanted to do something, and we talked with them about adopting us to launch that birthday bag program. You kind of forget how many of your homebound seniors don't celebrate birthdays anymore because
Right.
family
Yeah.
isn't close by, or they no longer are around. And they just, again, are isolated. And I can't tell you how awesome it is when one of our drivers drops off a birthday bag or box with their meals, and the notes that we get, or the phone calls, because in their minds, they don't have birthdays anymore. And they do now, because we not only do that, but we do holiday observations. So Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, we have a very generous donor who allows us to purchase items to celebrate those holidays, and with little gifts for our homebound clients. We also provide emergency meal bags, and we have been doing it for probably about 15 years now, because we know that in the Northwest, inclement weather you know, can prevent us from delivering. I mean, there have been years that the roads are so icy and clients' driveways are either too steep, going up or down, that there's no way that those meals can be delivered. Power outages, both around the area. We've had meal site closures due to power outages. Bainbridge is a good one because power goes out all the time over there. And also the kitchen. who prepares those meals. Doesn't matter if we can open, if the kitchen can't prepare those meals, we can't deliver them. And so, but those clients depend on us. I mean, that is their meal. And so we actually have been putting together through individual grants, bags that have 5 shelf-stable meals, bottled water, emergency blankets, flashlights, whistles, all kinds of things. So every right before Thanksgiving, we distribute those bags to our seniors. And sad but true, every year that I have been here, somebody has had to use and depend on those bags. So I'm happy that we are able to provide them, and I'm thankful to the community for helping us fund that.
Yeah, how many Thanksgivings has the power been out?
How
I
many
mean,
ways?
it seems always hit. So
Yeah.
that is such a great idea, thinking ahead and preparing and just making sure everybody's covered. I just love that.
Yeah. Well, again,
Yeah.
they so depend on us
Mm-hmm.
that's really important for us to
Right.
be able to provide that.
Absolutely. So you were talking earlier about some volunteer needs that you have.
You bet. So,
Yeah.
we are very anxious. We're on the island every day. We have homebound clients that we deliver to, and we come out there on Thursdays to deliver the frozen meals at the site. When we reopen in September, we will be bringing hot meals to the Bainbridge Senior Center Monday through Friday. And we have a real need for community dining volunteers. The requirements are that we need at least 8 to 10 volunteers right now. There are normally 2 volunteers each day that work 2 hours from 11 to 1 o'clock. They actually accept the meals that come in bulk, hot and cool containers. They temp those meals. Then they get the room ready. We use that dining room area, and then they serve those meals. Clients come in and they serve those meals to the clients, and then clean up. So the time commitment is about 11 to 1 o'clock. The meals are already prepared. They do serve it. They do kind of like clean up, but they don't have to wash any of the dishes. They just put them back in the containers and they go back to KCR to be cleaned and sterilized. They accept the donations from the clients, check them in. So we have, one person that's a server and one that is a registrar person. And that's kind of it for the in-house in-service dining program. We also have other volunteer needs. Obviously for the home delivered meal program, we're only doing hot home delivered meals in the Bremerton area. So I'm thinking that for most Bainbridge people, that might be too far to come out to deliver meals. But we have other opportunities throughout the year, kind of special projects. We always are looking for people to help out with fundraising events. They can basically help in terms of being ambassadors for us, opening doors, have us come in and do presentations like this, or, that kind of thing. And we can basically, we have a motto that if you have something or a way that you want to contribute, volunteer your time, we'll find something to make it happen. So we don't necessarily turn away volunteers. So, yes.
Yes, Don.
Well, speaking of lunch, mine has just arrived, courtesy of a good friend. So I've got to excuse myself, but I'm so glad to reconnect with you, Deborah, and hear about the fantastic job you're doing with Meals on Wheels. So
Thanks,
congratulations.
Don. It is awesome to see you as well.
Thank you,
Take
Don.
care.
Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you.
So So you were talking about the time commitment. It's about 2 hours to do the, so 11 to 1 at the senior center.
Yes.
Yes. That's great. That's a wonderful volunteer opportunity. And I hope that by September 1st, we have enough people. I know I remember some of the folks that did it prior to that, and I hope they come back also, but we always are getting new members, and that's a great way to get started in getting to know the senior center is working on Meals on Wheels. So,
Well, and they'll also get a chance to have lunch provided for them. And, I encourage, if you're not familiar with our menus, go up to our website and check them out. I was talking earlier about how the frozen meals have been really great, but I have to tell you, when you go to Hot Meals and you can do fresh taco salad, fresh soups that are just, steaming hot, it's real different.
right.
Even the salmon tastes, I love salmon, and it tastes
Mhm.
fine frozen, reheated, but it tastes exceptionally well when it comes to you hot.
Right. Yeah, it's just cooked once. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Let's see. So we know the time commitment and some other ways to volunteer. Let's see. What am I? I was like, I'm kind of lost for words. You covered so much.
Can I interject for a second?
Of course.
Hi, Deborah. It's nice to meet you.
Same here, Misty.
So I run the independent living program here at HRB, and I'm fairly new. I started in April, and so I'm just striving every day to become familiar with all of these wonderful programs that our seniors on Bainbridge have access to. I was able to provide a few of the clients that I work with, and with the summer coupons for the farmers market. And so they were thrilled with that. And then some of my other clients, of course, received the meals, and they're very, very thankful. So I'm always spreading the word. And if there's, once I believe I heard September is when the meals are going to come back, the warm meals on
September 1st on Bainbridge.
Okay, perfect. And so I'll continue to, make that a point to bring up with my clients. And some of my clients, of course, are, pretty homebound, and but others are still getting around. So yeah, it's wonderful to meet you and hear about all these wonderful things that your organization is doing.
Who do we contact in order to volunteer at Meals on Wheels?
You bet. So please, if you're interested, you can go to our website, and our volunteer application is online. But if you have any questions before that, please call our office and ask to speak to Jennifer Green. She's our volunteer coordinator, and she'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. I'm going to give you our 1-800 number. It's 1-888-877-8511.
Perfect. And that will be on the video. So if people don't get it the first time, they can back it up and get it the second time. I also noticed that she has an email address too. It's jgreen@millsonwheelskitsap.org.
Correct.
Yes. Perfect.
And for any additional information, your viewers can check our website out, which is mealsonwheelskitsap.org.
Perfect. And I think they'll get information and, links to contact people. So that will be perfect. Thank you so much. You are a godsend. You are wonderful. And like I said, you connect people's souls together, not just getting together to eat. Of course, getting together to eat is such a wonderful thing to do as community. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your help and for this opportunity.